Welcome back everyone to the Spearhead cast with me, Matt. We have a 2v2 for you all here on the Western Front. Let's go through the players. We have Robertos as the United States of America, one of the commander yet. We have Professor, who's immediately gone for US Rifle. That's gonna be an interesting one. We also see double blue and grey being prepared immediately. That's always a good one. Oh, and Roberto has gone for Armor Company. Okay. Gonna be an interesting one. Oh, he's not actually gone for blue and grey. That's... Oh, he did. That's awkward. Guess my icons did not update. I guess they haven't. Okay. Anyway, on the Axis side, excuse me, we have Fortune Blouse going for Fallschirmjäger Division for the Wehrmacht, the Luftwaffe. And Erdox Shakua's Panzer Division. Why am I coughing? That's unexplainable. Excuse me. Panzer Division for the Wehrmacht. So that's a good combination. Luftwaffe is generally really good because they get good infantry. And oh! We see Fallschirmjäger Pioneers coming out immediately out the gates. So we're actually seeing airborne unique troops for the Germans being used immediately. I believe these are like poor quality troops that are somewhat competent. That's at least what I believe. And they also serve as engineers, obviously. Which is always handy. We're seeing Americans and blue and grey moving up. Americans have secured the northern front pretty good order. Looks like we have double Pioneers going out here for the Wehrmacht Panzer. And Pioneers are pretty okay infantry. They'll definitely do well enough like the Volks Grenadiers and the Grenadiers. We actually believe all three actually have the same identical stats with the K-98s. So that is something. And we're also seeing the Germans are digging in here. They're preparing for the Americans to perhaps make a push. Germans have also secured the southern flank. So the Germans are moving... Oh, well, the Americans have secured the north flank. The Germans have secured the southern flank. My bad. Ugh. My mind is a little bit all over the place today, evidently. Well, we have Fallschirmjäger troops now, or Fallschirmjäger Pioneers coming up. I don't think they should want to fight at medium ranges against Americans. Americans are having a long-range engagement here with the Pioneers and the Volks Grenadiers. I believe the Germans might have the upper hand here just because the K-98s... Oh, but the Pioneers are going down! I guess the American rifles and the Springfields from the version on is actually working. Blue and grey overrunning this Pioneer. While blue and grey are poor quality troops, that is still a lot of semi-automatic weaponry on them. Looks like a Grenadier is being directed to try and hold them. But I think at this range the Americans could get the upper hand if the engagement lasts long enough. We have a rifle grenade going out, or trying to go out, but it's bugged. It only happens sometimes with rifle grenades, it's a really big issue. Yeah, here it comes. Oh, killing the cover. But the Germans still have to fall back. Not looking too good here. The Americans are actually winning this engagement up here thanks to the M1 Garands, I think. Americans also secured the southern point. Looks like they missed that the Fallschirmjäger Pioneers got shot to pieces. That's not good. We also have some Fallschirmjäger MT-42 coming out now. I dig that the Luftwaffe troops actually have the flight goggles on their portraits. Which is actually something they did. They actually had their flight goggles with them. It was like, I don't know why they actually had that, but it was a nice little feature, I think. Also to I think it was to protect their eyes. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Germans have fall back to their sandbag position, but the Americans are preparing to flank here with the blue and grey. But the blue and grey out in the open will not do too much. They do have some sandbags here to get into. But at range, I think the blue and grey are just too bad at aiming. That said, it is a lot of rifles. Kampfkraft center going up for the Luftwaffe. Guess they're going for some early veterancy. Not a bad thing, not a bad thing, personally. Oh yeah, the Germans are being overrun here. The blue and grey were really just a distraction to allow the re-echelon and the riflemen to get up. Oh my god, and the 29th are actually doing a pretty good job here just because of the ranges. Germans have to pull back again. Oh, and the Pioneer goes down. Oh, that's a big loss. Yeah, for the freeze armed and the Grenadiers here. Gonna give them some more semi-automatic firepower. Actually, an upgrade a lot of people don't utilize. They generally just go for other upgrades for them. But I would never say that the Gewehr 43 is a bad weapon. It's just generally really not used. So I don't think a lot of strategies have been developed in game about it. And G42 up though. But it's not be able to suppress because of all the heavy cover. Oh, they suppress us now, but it's a little bit too late. Americans have pushed up the northern front here with 30 cals being handed out to the riflemen. Germans are trying to tag up behind us. Scope Sturmgewehr with the Vampire scope has already been given out to the Grenadier. Unique upgrade for the Panzer Division. Allows them to have a Sturmgewehr that's good against people in cover. Really useful weapon to have a long range. It only is one Sturmgewehr compared to 2 Sturmgewehrs, so always remember that. So it's not as much firepower as you'd think, but it's still a very good weapon. But I think the Germans will still be able to hold this area. MD42 here from the Panzer Grenadiers coming up. Also, we have the Großdeutschland Panzer Division coming out. A really good unit. Available to the Panzer Division, only one available at a time. Some of the best German light infantry, I believe. Usually operates as Panzer Grenadiers, but they're meant to scout for the tanks, I believe, is their preferred use in this. Vertical's gonna open fire here. Looks like it's air-cooled Vertical. Ambulance coming off the Americans. Smoke to obscure them. They can probably pull the Musketeers back now. MG42 is being very brave here. That's not a good position to be in. Yeah, they're already being suppressed. Yeah, it's not going to be able to suppress here. And when the Vertical starts opening fire, oh yeah, that's a lot of firepower coming in.
And ready to advance rapidly. Specially outfitted Panzer IV command tanks are now available.
Not looking good. But the Großdeutschland is on the field now. And they arrive at Veterans 2, evidently. Meanwhile, the Luftwaffe is trying to push up on their flanks. We have some Jägers coming out now. Not Fallschirmjägers, but Jägers. I believe the Jägers here are actually made up of Luftwaffe personnel. Luftwaffe ground personnel that has been equipped to support the Wehrmacht. And they arrive with Gewehr 43s instead of K98s. Making them a lot more kind to like American troops, I think. In how they're utilized in combat. And also they have the goggles on their little portrait, which is a nice little thing. I really think we see enough Jägers. People always just go for the Fallschirmjägers, but I think that's just an issue of how the tiers work with the Wehrmacht currently. In my own personal opinion, I would like to see the Jägers being available like instantly like the Airborne is for the British and Americans, just so we get to see them more. Because as we can see, he gets one of them, and then it's straight into Fallschirmjägers. Which I don't blame. The Fallschirmjägers are really damn great. I just wish we'd see the Jägers more. This is a really underutilized unit, and I really think this unit has a lot of potential. Especially because of all the Gewehr 43s on them. That's a surprising amount of firepower that the Americans are likely not able to comprehend early on. Because they like to be a unit that can beat them in medium to close range, potentially. Both units are taking cover here. Americans pushing up very hard here. I think the Germans have enough troops to hold them for now. Especially with all the blue and grey coming up. That's a lot of semi-automatic rifles. That MG42 has to get into position quick. But where and how? He could use the hay bales here, but I think it's going to move up behind this one. Großdeutschland are waiting. They move back here so they can open a fire in this area. Meanwhile, we have the Luftwaffe troops are already fighting down here. Oh, we already see these guys got 5 kills. They might actually have killed the rifleman. It kind of shows the power of all the Gewehrs. Oh, he's rushing up here to try and get rid of the building there. He's probably going to throw a grenade in. Yep, grenade coming out. You do have some third American riflemen though, armed with Thompsons. But the Gewehr 43 should do a lot of harm here. It's just all those third riflemen. Yeah, the Thompsons are mowing them down. That's the power of a submachine gun, everyone. And I don't think the Jäger's gonna get out of there. Oh, they might! Oh my god, I think the Jägers are gonna get out of there! Holy shit, good to see. And our Fallschirmjägers on the field, this is an Angriffsgruppe. So they are also similarly armed with Gewehr 43s. These guys are meant for assaulting. You also have a Fallschirmjäger Lieutenant on the field, not a Lieutenant, a Stabsfeldwebel. Like a field officer for the Luftwaffe, for the Fallschirmjägers. A unique officer available to Luftwaffe that you get on top of your normal Luftwaffe officers. Command Panzer 2 looks coming out for the Panzer Division. Excuse me. Gewehr 43 sniper being armed with the Großdeutschland, allowing them to snipe away at the American front line. They need to take out that AT gun for the looks to be useful, I think. But Großdeutschland is a really good unit, so don't underestimate them. Because the Luftwaffe is working up very aggressively on their flank, destroying a lot of American units. But the Stuart is being prepared. Because the Germans have stolen the vertical. That was a water-cooled one. Some Grenadiers are relocated southwards with the Panzer II looks. We're seeing infantry upgrades going in for the Luftwaffe, so I guess they want a lot of veteran infantry to come out the gate if they need it. They will help all new Luftwaffe troops they might need to get at some point. Very little here to stop the Lukes, I think. But the Stuart is coming onto the field. Actually, we have a command German as well. That's a pretty big step up. I don't think the blue and grey have the willpower to push up on the Panzer II with an autocannon. And here comes the command Sherman. Missed! And that AT got us in trouble, I think. Yep, they got the crew, but an artillery strike is being called in. We already see the very powerful and very important FT-42 being equipped in the Fallschirmjägers. This is a very powerful weapon. A lot of people say it might be a little bit too powerful, and I might agree there with them, especially on the Feuertruppe. This is not the Feuertruppe. The Feuertruppe can get ones with scopes and this one, which is a ludicrous amount of firepower, by the way. But this squad only gets 2 of them, which is still powerful, don't get me wrong. That is a very powerful rifle. Battle rifle, I think it's called? Yeah, automatic rifle. You don't have 20 rounds though, so you actually need to be very sparingly with how you use it. Luftwaffe Jägers might not get out of this one. Oh, I think they might actually. Yeah. Stuart pushing up on the Luftwaffe troops. Being used with a canister shot. It's targeting the only unit with a Panzerfaust. The Feldwebel does not have a Panzerfaust on him. Command loses the trouble. I think the Sherman has it here. Oh, it didn't penetrate! Oh god, the Dukes might actually get out of there. But Germans have managed to get to the field up here, but here comes the blue and grey. The Bombardlandung in the path, that might actually save these pioneers. And it will. But that 30 cal is still operational. Oh, that 30 cal is just shredding everything. Oh my god. That 30 cal is just so lethal right now, oh god. Luftwaffe troops pushing out again. There was some Panzerjägers coming in. Panzerjägers from both German players. Panzer F1 coming out on the field here for the Advanced Division. An earlier version of the Panzer IV were in an infantry support role with a stubby gun. I don't think the Stuart is going to be able to fight the F1. Oh, there's a minefield! I know someone is commenting on the whole medic truck thing. Good job there with the post-Großdeutschland. It seems like they've been armed with the scope gewehr and a Panzerstreck, making them good against vehicles as well. It's actually a really good combination for them, I've found. Very impressive. Jägers are fighting down here. Jägers actually doing pretty good. Who knew gewehr 43 was so valuable? Panzerstreck being armed on the Luftwaffe troops, the Fallschirmjägers. They get a shortened version of the Panzerstreck, which I actually believe is better, which is weird. I guess it's just better than the normal Panzerstreck. Well, it's a really good upgrade for them, making them really good at dealing with American and British tanks, even Soviet ones, obviously. Although I'm not an expert on how much the Fallschirmjägers fought on the Eastern Front, if I am to be fair. A2 Sherman's coming out, one from each American player. I think this F1 might be in trouble. Artillery has been called. Well, that's not artillery, that's an airstrike. F1 is already taking hits. So the Germans are slightly pulling back, but there is a Panzerjäger squad getting in position. And there they go, they're flanking. Got a good shot there. F1 is still alive. Mines is still being a problem here for the Germans. That Panzerjäger squad might be in trouble. Oh, he's throwing a Gewaltladung. But he's gonna get mowed down as he get out of the smoke. But I think the Panzerjäger did get out of there, that's good. Fallschirmjägers are securing the south. This is another Angriffsgruppe. I guess it's relying more on assault groups than Feuertruppe. I guess he has the Jägers to do the more assaulting oriented, well, the holding stuff. They can actually be equipped with a machine gun, the MT-15. An interesting little thing. Yeah, some Panzer Grenadiers in the field, but they took heavy losses from the mines. Panzer Grenadiers are generally pretty good. Combatant infantry designed to work alongside vehicles for the Germans. Get buffs when fighting near vehicles. Jägers are trying to get the territory, but they are being suppressed. I think the third rifleman will just be able to mow them down over time here. Yeah, so they need to retreat, I think. They cannot stay out there in that road for long. Yeah, they're getting out of there. Fallschirmjägers waiting. They are getting their FT-42s. Third infantry is coming up. And the Luftwaffe troops are falling back. I am coughing way too much today. That's not a good sign. Looks like the Americans on the north front have lost a lot of troops, but the battle is still somewhat even. But I think the Germans are getting slowly the upper hand here. Because of an Aufklar coming out for the Panzer Division. Osterhausen being hit by a pineapple grate, didn't lose a man, but got suppressed. Artillery being called in the American positions. And it was good. Yes, I don't think I can hold that position for too long, and indeed they're falling back. Oh, here comes the Fallschirmjägers, and I think they'll mow down the Americans with the FT-42s. Indeed, the FT-42 is just proving to be a very superior weapon here. And we're actually seeing double veterancy upgrade here. Good to see. So the Luftwaffe troops are going to be very veteran. People being airdropped in the American base. And meanwhile, Mthis is being airdropped in for the Germans to utilize. MG-34 being on the Panzer Grenadiers, but very bad timing because of that high explosive shell. The Panzer Grenadiers can actually be armed with an MG-34, which is a really good weapon for them, actually. I don't actually see people ever really get the MG-34 if they have access to an MG-42. But of course, people just go for the Sturmgewehrs for the Panzer Grenadiers often. But you can actually get both of them. Like, get an MG-34 and the Sturmgewehrs. Really potent weapon. A really potent combo. And good Panzer strike right there. And now they can do a Panzerknacker on it. There we go. And that's a dead Sherman. Fallschirmjägers are taking some losses here. You have another one here with the improved Panzerstrike. With the shortened barrel. Trying to get a flanking shot. But they're missing, hitting the terrain instead. That's not good. F1 is on the field. But the blue and grey don't really have a lot of AT capability. Unless you can get them to like veterancy, specific veterans, you can get them bazookas. Generally they only have this sticky bomb, which is not that good. More further trying to push up the flank, but I think the Fallschirmjägers are just too good troops here. Will the Pete shot going out? Looks like the Fallschirmjägers dodged it. I'm still trying to take this point, but the Lieutenant is trying to stop it. Get Gewaltladung going on him. He's gonna have to get out of there. Yeah, he's dead. That's a dead American officer.
They got wiped out.
Großdeutschland preparing to go again. They are veterans before now. So that's a really potent squad. It's good to see Eric is actually utilizing his Großdeutschland pretty well. Jäger's coming up there being armed with the Panzerschreck. He's gonna use the building. That's really dangerous because the building is about to collapse. He's pulling. The German is pulling back, so I don't think it will happen. Yes, but you know with their Panzer Grenadiers, actually they're both Panzer Grenadiers, just from different divisions. Very potent mix here. Also using the Panzerschreck. Explosive is coming in, and then no, they missed. Oh yeah, no, that's not good for the Großdeutschland. And more American tanks come out to the field, including an EC-8 for the Americans. EC-8 is a really potent Sherman, probably the pinnacle of Sherman design. But here comes the Jägers, they're pulling out here. Good shot. But they're out in the open and they're being shot to pieces. They did destroy the main gun and that Sherman and destroy the tracks. That one is an easy target. German on the northern flank also trying, but Panzerjägers are flanking. Oh, good shot. It actually missed, but actually did somewhat damage the engine. Guess the splash actually hurt it. Wow, in the open, that's not good. They're being pinned. Luftwaffe has set up a forward encampment, allowing them to recruit troops as well as reinforce out here. Panzerjägers have already been given elite training. Something you should never not get if you can get it for them. It really improves their accuracy a lot. It do need to be a certain veterancy to get it. Veterancy free, so that's not cheap. Panzer H coming up for the Panzer Division. Panzerjäger's being cut to pieces here by machine guns and other things. Oh, Stuka coming in here for a strafing. Killed a lot of American troops. Looks like mostly engineers. And now the Fallschirmjägers are pushing up from the flank here in the forest. Oh, they're moving right on the open there. That's not good. That's a lot of machine gun fire coming their way. But it did take out an EC-8. Risky maneuver, but I guess it's somewhat paid off. Oh, the Großdeutschland is also taking a shot in. They are slowing down the American push a little bit. But the Americans are still coming. Looks like the Germans have stolen the 57mm here.
We just lost a medium tank.
And there goes the Sherman. Good to see. You have a Hauptmann coming out here for the Fallschirmjägers. Very good officer for German Luftwaffe. Can call in a lot of different airstrikes, including a Condor bombing run. That's probably one of the... Oh, looks like some friendly fire. Don't think that's a good thing. But the front line is being strafed by the Luftwaffe. Looks like Hermann Göring is actually doing his job today. And not high on drugs. Yeah, lots more Fallschirmjägers coming out. Looks like it's mostly just going to be a not a Feuertruppe, Angriffstruppe. And the Panzer 4H is now pushing up with Luftwaffe support. Panzer pushing up alongside the tank, as they should. You can stay close to the tank, like that. Problem is that the tank didn't get a penetration there. The Sherman is a pretty good tank, don't underestimate it. And the Panzer is going to get mowed down out in the open. Oh, yeah. Stay behind your tanks and use it as cover if you can. But I know that's generally hard to do just because of pathing. Although I think a Common Heroes 3, that's probably going to be a little bit easier from what I tried in the pre-alpha back in the day. Luftwaffe are securing this flank entirely, they're taking the munitions points. I think the Americans are gonna be a little bit of a trouble soon.
Now available, Commander.
I'm gonna have the stuff to pull in resources. Ostdeutschland still making a name for themselves. 5 veterans, you know. The sharpshooter with the Gewehr 43 is definitely doing a good job. Fallschirmjägers are waiting, they've even laid some mines. They laid a shoe miner. Oh, they are throwing a grenade at it. And that did trigger the mine. But the Fallschirmjägers will just mow down any American infantry that comes out here. Fallschirmjägers are really good infantry. Never underestimate them. The Green Devils, as they were referred to by some, is pretty damn potent. Yeah, the Green Devils. Definitely quite a battle going on here. Not one of the biggest, but it's seen a lot of action already. Fallschirmjägers are digging in new positions. The Americans are gonna need to figure out something else, because all the extra weapons, including the Panzerschreck on the Fallschirmjägers, is gonna make it really hard to deal with them. Like FT-42s and Panzerschrecks, that's a pretty potent combination on a squad. No wonder they're having difficulty dealing with them. The Fallschirmjägers can just deal with any threat. And Luftwaffe doesn't really get a lot of tanks, so he doesn't actually have to take up much. Or build any buildings. He's just relying entirely on Fallschirmjäger troops. Which is entirely viable if you're playing as the Luftwaffe. Like Luftwaffe is even calling in a Condor bombing run on the American base. Oh god, we've seen the Condors go. Oh god. Here comes the Luftwaffe. Ah, not the most effective bombing run. It actually feels more like a waste if you ask me. Then again, the Americans don't actually get this auto repair for their base, I'm pretty sure. So technically if you do 2 that hits well, it would actually destroy the American base. But if the Americans just repair it, it's not a problem. EC-8. There's some panzers here though, but I don't think the EC-8 can deal with that many. It might be able to if it's really lucky. After all, the EC-8 is not a bad tank at all. Machine gun pinning the German infantry. The panzers are preparing still. Looks like the Luftwaffe is just taking in further. I guess there's not much else for them to do, really. They should find a way to see if they can push into the base somehow. Question is how. They need to destroy the American base defenses, but getting to that point is not the easiest thing, I imagine. Well, I think the Americans are just running out of steam at this point. The Germans have done pretty well here pushing up. Oh, good high explosive on the H there. Now the Fallschirmjägers are pushing in the flank. Disabling some of the American defenses. Allowing the panzers to move up. Now the question is, how long will this EC-8 hold? So far it's holding pretty well. Again, the EC-8 is pretty powerful. Looks like the Luftwaffe is being called in. Looks like it's gonna be some anti-autocannon shots going in. Here comes the Stukas. Pretty good utilization of the Luftwaffe. And he's also keeping his Jaegers over there to just grab the munitions. Giving him constant airstrike potential. And there goes DC-8. Oh yeah, it's not looking good here for the Americans. The Allies barely have anything left. More fuel is being airdropped though.
One of our fighting positions is sustaining fire.
When the Luftwaffe is preparing to move in, they are aiming to destroy the bunkers there, throwing in geballte Ladungs. Destroying them. And that's the opening they were waiting for. There's still one more tank left. And there's also some base defense there that can hit.
Enemies are swarming one of our emplacements.
Here come more Fallschirmjägers.
We just lost a unit.
And there we go, the Americans surrender at this point. I don't blame them. This was an interesting match and good utilization of the Luftwaffe. I liked seeing that. And I hope you all did too. I'll see you all in the next one, everyone. Bye bye!